The Kingmaker here. I want to tell you guys a story. I have been dropping tips for creating magic for a little while now, and obviously for years at this point, YouTube videos, podcasts, and information to help you change your life, to transform whatever you're experiencing into something that is in alignment with what you really desire, what you aspire to have. And I recognize that I neglected to tell you guys the story of how I created a reality for myself where I get to live in my dream house. And I've posted the house a little bit on Instagram, like as I was decorating and showing some of the cool features. And I think there's a story highlight where you can see the house, or most of it anyway, or the main parts. I don't know. It's there though. And I had those in my group coaching container, those who do individual coaching with me, and close friends have heard the story so many times, I guess I forgot to tell you guys. So this is the story. So at the time when I found this house, I was living in Buckhead, and I decided I wanted to move into a townhouse because I didn't want to have to deal with like the lawn care dynamic. But it was also as important to me because I loved where I lived in Buckhead. I was like walking distance from like Lenox and Phipps. I wanted to have that level of connectivity to shopping, etc. So I didn't really, okay, so let me back up. Maybe 2 or 3 months before, I was talking to one of my business partners, and I was telling him about this $1.8 million house that was down the street from where I lived in Buckhead, and how I used to walk by there all the time, and I would go to the open houses, and I was like stalking this house, seriously. These were new construction. There was only like 8 homes. And I loved this house. And I had to pick out which one of them I wanted and everything. And I didn't have $1.8 million. I didn't. And I didn't even have $200,000 in cash to put down. So I knew I wanted it, but I didn't know how I was going to get it. But I just was like, I'm going to have this or something better. So around the time that I actually so let me not skip parts. So before I started looking for my house, I started going to sleep and waking up in that house, like visually. I would literally wake up every morning and spend 5 or 10 minutes like picturing as though I was waking up in this house that I wanted. And the house didn't actually have a patio off the master, so I would like etch a sketch in a patio so that so that I could sit on the patio, because I love patios. And y'all probably seen videos where I was like sitting on the patio. Love patios. And it was so important to me to have a patio off the master. So I really, really wanted this. And I did this for about 90 days where I simply would go to sleep and then wake up picturing myself, where I was standing, what I was looking at. And I had no negative feelings, no negative thoughts about it. It was just like waking up and like, oh my God, I'm home. I get to have this experience. And I was super excited about it, but I did not offer what we like to call resistance. I did not offer any, I can't have it, I can't afford it, I don't know how this is going to happen. I was open to the fact that because I didn't know, that there was a opportunity for me to be shown the path to receive it. So I did that for months, and then I finally decided, like, I'm done living where I'm living in Buckhead. I need to find a place. So I was really trying to find a townhouse in Buckhead that fit the parameters of what I wanted, but that wasn't working. So come to find out, at first we started looking and it was like we couldn't find anything. And then I don't know what the time difference was. It was like, nope, I've decided what I'm looking for is available to me and it's out there. So we start looking again. And so this was my oldest daughter and I. And I found 2 or 3 houses that I would consider. And one of them wanted like $12,000 to get in it. I'm like, am I buying a house or am I like renting this house? Because I wasn't trying to buy, I was trying to rent. So I was just kind of, and they didn't care like that my credit was good. It didn't matter. They just, $12,000. Okay, I'm not interested. Then one of them, and maybe it was 4 houses that I had started to look at, but one of them I remember they wouldn't even show me the house because of COVID. And I was just like, I'm not about to spend this much money on a house. And y'all ain't gonna let me actually see it. So that was out of the equation. And then there was the third house, and I'm not calling these houses in the correct order per se, but it wasn't like a real live person to go show me. It was like you do something on the app and you upload your license and you do all this stuff and then they'll let you get access to it. And for whatever reason, the first time I tried to upload my driver's license, something didn't work right. And I ended up for hours trying to redo this to go look at the house. Finally, I like forced it to work. It worked. And then the last house, I called the number and it was like, hey, you want to come see it like right now? I was like, sure. And I remember pulling into the you have to make a U-turn to even get to it. And you can't even find the house on regular GPS, which also I love. And this house ended up being in Alpharetta. And I was like, at first I was like, Alpharetta though? I don't really want to live in Alpharetta because my experiences having driven to Alpharetta when the children had like doctor's appointments and stuff was pre-pandemic was not pleasant. So I see before we make the U-turn, I'm like, oh my God, those are really nice. And the person I was with was like, I think that's where we're going. So we make the U-turn, we pull into the subdivision, we park, and we walk up the stairs. And I was like, oh my God, this is gorgeous. And it reminded me so much of Serenbe. And I don't know if anybody knows about Serenbe, but Serenbe is south, like in Chattahoochee Hills. And I've been wanting to live there. So I wanted to live there because of the community, but I didn't want to live there because of the location. It was like super far south and like in the middle of nowhere. But there was so many things about this place that I love. So it reminded me of Serenbe immediately. I mean, and it's just gorgeous. And some of you guys have seen matter of fact, I might just take you out there now since we're talking about it. Now, hold on just a second. So I walked into, I don't know how to turn this. Okay. I walked into this. And I was like, what? This is gorgeous. So anyway, so I walk into the house and I knew from the moment I walked in, this is the house. This is it. And I walked around, I was really happy. And then they just wanted like $8,000 to get in. It was like first month's rent and the security deposit. They did not want or need me to pay like $12,000. And I hadn't looked at the third house yet. So we went from here to go look at the third house. The third house was nice. Oh, let me not leave out. I have an obsession with brand new things. So like most of the places that I have stayed in the last however long that I've rented have been brand new. Like when I was in Florida, I rented a 3-bedroom apartment, and there's actually a video of that apartment in Fort Myers before the permits were in for them to even let people in the leasing office. And so months and months before, I have an obsession with brand new things. So this was a brand new house that had never been lived in that I got to rent. Which was incredible because remember the houses that I was looking at in Buckhead were brand new. So I got what I wanted. And so the houses in Buckhead had an elevator. These houses, a couple of them have elevators. This one isn't wired for elevator, but you could put one in. So like my neighbor has the same kind of setup as mine, and he's putting an elevator because his in-laws are coming in. So my children get mad at me because I call it the elevator closet. But anyway, okay. So also there was certain requirements, right? I needed 4 bedrooms, 4 baths because I have 3 children, right? So I needed my oldest she's 16. I have, my son is 14 and my youngest is 11. They're old enough to have their own space. So I needed all of that. I needed, the garage to be accommodating of 2 cars. There were certain things that I had to have. And in addition to all of that, the actual design features of the house, like the color combination, like anybody who knows, like I have an obsession also with wood, natural materials, so wood, slate. So I had said years ago that I wanted the next house that had like over 3 or 4 bathrooms. I wanted to have one of the bathrooms would be slate, like accessories, one would be bamboo, and one would be marble. So the master bath is all marble, gorgeous. The bathroom on the main level has a slate sink, like incredible. This house has 4 bathrooms. The bathroom upstairs, I already had the bamboo accoutrements, so I just used those there, but it was like I got exactly what I wanted. Now, all of that being said, so I go to the second house, or the third house based on what I explained thus far. And the location was weird. It was downtown. It was like there was only like 3 houses built so far, and you could tell that they were going to build more. But I have been somewhere where they were still building, and it was super noisy. I wasn't feeling it. And also this house was nice and it looked really good, but somebody had lived there. Like I could tell their stuff was in the garage. And it was a weird setup. Like you come in and then there's a bedroom, and because it wasn't the master, that means one of the children would have to be on like the main level, like as soon as you walk in the door. And I wasn't really comfortable with that idea. And then it was like really skinny with like 3 or 4 levels. So it was a nice house, but I couldn't. And then it was like this weird community, like the location was off for me. It was nothing like this, right? So again, I still don't really want to live in Alpharetta. Now that was before I discovered the Avalon. I didn't know, I was not aware. So when we came back up here, we went and drove through, realized the Avalon was freaking amazing. It was basically Phipps and Lenox and not Atlantic Station, but the Battery, like kind of put together. And then there's 2 exits up. There's another like mini Avalon, and then downtown Alpharetta is like the shit. Like I had no idea that all this was the thing. So now, after living here, I am so clear that this area is where I want to live in life. But the cool thing is, and my stepfather, when he came to visit, he mentioned the same thing. So the 2 places that I was very sure that I wanted to live was Serenbe, partly because of the culture, like the way the houses look, which is how these houses look here. And also because it's just got a really cool vibe to it. It's kind of off the beaten path. People can't find you easily. And it just has a very unique thing. Anyway, the other place that I wanted to have a second home was in Naples. And I love downtown Naples and the Mercado. So it was so funny. So when my stepfather came, he was like, this reminds me of Naples. And I was like, I know, right? Like I was super excited. But anyway, I got everything I said I wanted. Everything. Even though I'm not living in Naples and I'm not living in Serenbe, neither one were real practical for where I actually want to be. So the universe literally put me in a position to align myself with exactly what I want in a place that I would not have been even looking. And I didn't get in my own way. I didn't say, well, I don't want to live in Alpharetta, so I'm not going to go look at this house. I didn't say, like, it's not the ones in Buckhead that I was looking at, so I'm not going to get it. I left myself open to get what I want. And it turned out to be better than I could have imagined. Now living here, I'm like, Buckhead ain't like, like I'm really there. I feel very differently about it. And it's still like only 20 minutes away, 17 minutes on a good day. Like I still have access to all the same things. I'm trying to see what else I needed to tell you about this story. So not only was all the money that needed to be there to support this new venture, this new house, like everything about it, it didn't even seem like a lot of money either. Like $4,000 a month, not a big deal. Like everything, my income, my circumstances, everything. And as a matter of fact, for a period after, like I actually moved before my lease was up. So I was spending, like I did actually help a family member by allowing them to stay at my old apartment. So I was spending like $6,000 in rent. Still wasn't a problem. Like literally, when you are in alignment with your desires and you get out of your own way, everything rearranges itself to support you. So all the things I've been talking to you guys about, worry, your emotions, the understanding that what you are experiencing now is a result of your past thoughts, like all these things, I applied all these principles to get myself into my dream home. And I'm not going to tell you guys what's next for me yet. I'm going to just show you. However, get out of your own way. Stop creating limitations for yourself, telling yourself things that you want aren't possible and you can't have this thing that, you desire. And stop tying the universe's hands behind its back. When you decide that you want something, be connected to the result, not the how. The how isn't your responsibility. I want to say Amanda Francis says that. But the how is not your responsibility. Aligning yourself with your desire, making sure that you are a match vibrationally, frequency-wise, energetically, and that you are a clear, open channel, open conduit to what you want is your responsibility. The actual how there was no way that I could have come up with how this all played out. There was no way I would have been like, all right, so Naples looks like this, and this is this thing that I want. Serenbe looks like this, and literally had just built it. So it was like, it almost feel like this was all in the works for me, and I just aligned myself with receiving it. It's possible that had I been in the right mentality before, I could have received it before I did. And I'll say that for another video. But things that we think we're not ready for, understand that you're the only one standing in your way. There's literally nothing else standing in your way. You can be like, well, the money's not there, and well, the man's not here yet, or the woman's not here yet, or the job's not here yet. I promise you, if you are actually in alignment with what you want, there is nothing standing in your way. And if you're not in alignment with your want, you're the one in the way. You're the one in the way. It's not the job. It's not the thing you're waiting on. It's you that's blocking yourself, whether it's the money. You're like, no, I don't see it. And it's trying to get to you. So I think that's the complete story of my dream house situation. But hopefully it will inspire you guys to dream bigger, decide that you get to have it now. I didn't get stuck on the $1.8 million house in Buckhead, and instead I got a $700,000 house in Alpharetta. And the house is, I can't forget this part. The house has a balcony off the master. The thing that I was etch-a-sketching in that I absolutely had to have, it came with it. Like, this house ended up being a better fit for me. The color, I'm realizing all the stuff I didn't say. So like the house has a bunch of wood and, okay, let me see if I can, as you can see, I'm moving. So I got stuff, boxes and whatever, but it's got a bunch of wood and metal and different things. And I've already had, the couch that I have in here now, it's actually, I've already sold it. I picked out in 2017, the paintings, a lot of the things that I had, some of the dishware already supported where I was going. It already supported this house that I hadn't found yet. That's somebody delivering Amazon package. But anyway, that's the point. Get out of your own way. and you can have whatever you want. Sending light, love, and gratitude always, the Kingmaker.